We import into Guam approximately 80 million aluminum beverage cans a year. 80 million aluminum beverage cans a year. 80 million beverage cans a year. Okay, well, I am the program administrator of the iRecycle program, which was created by 7 local businesses to promote aluminum can recycling for the financial benefit of the schools. And so in the beginning, I identified all the schools that would be participating in the program, and then with the tremendous assistance of Ambrose, particularly John Shimazu and his staff, we placed 40 bins at 40 schools throughout the entire island. And these are 8 cubic yard bins, so they're quite large. And he had this amazing trailer and could load 3 at a time, and then we would have a little parade and we would take them to the various schools throughout the island. Once that was done, once all those containers were in place, then I started working with all the schools, providing them information, giving presentations at the schools regarding the program and how it would proceed. As the bins filled up by the various schools, then they were collected by Guahan Waste Control, aka Mr. Rubbish Man. So they do the aluminum can collection, and then we started filling up a bin, a shipping container that was provided by Matson. And then when that was filled, then we shipped it off. Our first container was shipped in April of 2007 or 2008. 2008. Okay, so to date we have shipped off 8 containers, 5 20-foot containers, 3 40-foot high cubes. We have shipped off, I estimate, around 7 or 8 million cans. And we're awaiting the check from the last container, the 8th container, which should be around $25,000. So the schools will have earned to date, by the time we get that check, approximately $110,000. $110,000. $110,000. The schools will have earned $110,000. The schools. It all goes to the schools. Well, I would like to spread the message that you get to the point where you wouldn't dream of throwing away an aluminum can. That it always goes in a recycling bin, and preferably it goes to a school. Okay, there's 40 schools with bins. They're hard to miss, and just take the cans to a school, and they will be the beneficiaries of that. That's what happens with recycling, and ultimately it will be everything that we can recycle. That you wouldn't dream of throwing out any item that we can recycle on Guam. But our focus with iRecycle is aluminum, because it is such a lucrative recyclable, and it can be recycled over and over and over and over. So all the cans that were collected at the International Coastal Cleanup this past Saturday will all go to schools.
Awesome.
I made sure that at least 5 or 6 schools were the recipients of the cans from the south and the central part. Somebody else was assisting with the north. But, my gosh, at Paseo there were 18 bags of cans. I would certainly like it to be a far, far more effective program for the schools. That there would be greater and greater recycling throughout the entire community for the benefit of the schools. Do you know we import into Guam approximately 80 million aluminum beverage cans a year? That's approximately 2.2 million pounds. If half of that was recycled through iRecycle at the current market value, this check that we're receiving is 74 cents a pound. That's $740,000 in 1 year that could go to the schools. The potential is huge. And so this is what I'm striving for. If we recycled everything that came into Guam, then that's twice that. And that's pretty amazing. But you're always going to have those entities or individuals that want to recycle for their own financial benefit, and that's fine. we just can do so much better for the schools and keep so many of the cans out of the dump. Well, the new landfill. So then the dream is, my vision is, and the partner's vision is to expand to other recyclables and expand this program throughout Micronesia. So that's where we want to go with this.
Sweet.
But all for the benefit of the schools. So I want to be sure that everyone is aware that the Guam Business Partners are made up of Ambrose. They provided the 48 cubic yard bins. South Pacific Petroleum provides the diesel fuel to Guahan's truck. Guahan Waste Control, aka Mr. Rubbishman, does all the collection of the aluminum. Matson Navigation ships the aluminum to the West Coast, where it is purchased by Anheuser-Busch Recycling Corporation at the current market value. And Paris Brothers, who was an initial partner, they provided concrete blocks for the schools that didn't have an asphalt or a concrete site on which to place the bin. Coca-Cola Formal Subway Glimpses, that is our marketing arm. They provide all the design for the posters and flyers and solicit the media coverage for the program. Probably well over $500,000 they've solicited thus far. And Ernst & Young has been providing financial oversight. And and Bank of Guam is a new one. They've joined us and they have implemented recycling at all their branches, and each branch has adopted a school for the iRecycle program. I'd like to acknowledge Atkins Kroll because they provided my awesome truck that I get to drive around 24/7. And I would like to also acknowledge Pyramid Recycling. They bale all the aluminum for us. Guam Webs created a website for the program. Graphic Center prints all the posters and flyers, and Express Signs and Graphics does all our signs for the recycling bins that I use at events and for the large recycling bins that are at the schools. My inspirations are all the wonderful people who help me out with this. I mean, and who assist the program. I get to work with teachers and administrators and awesome students, awesome kids who just have such enthusiasm, and I think they're my inspiration. I don't face reality, I create reality. That's my motto. iRecycle participates with the Environmental Education Committee activities, and so I try to help play a key role in functions or events like the International Coastal Cleanup. But then all major events, or as many as I can do, I try to ensure that we're recycling there. But it's not only for aluminum cans. You know, it's for everything that we can recycle on Guam. So we recycled at the carnival for 54 days straight during this summer, and we did aluminum cans, plastic bottles, food waste, biodegradables, steel cans, glass bottles, waste cooking oil, 6-pack rings, and I think I'm forgetting something, but trying to make it as broad as we possibly could to reduce the amount of trash going into the dump. So all the major events, lots of 5Ks, just so that it's kind of there in people's faces, you know, so they see it and they see it over and over and over again. And I can tell you that the response from people is changing dramatically. Because when I first started, then I used to get some really strange looks from people, like I was some odd bag lady or something. And now they come up and they say, thank you so much for what you're doing. And they thank the volunteers. And so their response is so different. They are so much more receptive, so much more cooperative, so much more appreciative. And you don't do it for the appreciation, but it is kind of nice. You know, so we're coming along. We really have, and we've come a long way. Granted, we have a ways to go, but we're making significant progress. Hi, I'm Peggy Denny, Program Administrator of the iRecycle program. Please help me welcome to Guam, Catch a Fire!